Oh yeah?
We are. Hi guys!
Hey guys, here it is. I think you can guess what we're talking about tonight.
This is more your era than mine.
Hold on.
Were you an Elvis fan?
What?
Were you an Elvis fan?
Not really. No, everyone's an Elvis fan.
Not me. Okay.
Have you had enough?
Yes. Okay.
Uh-huh.
What are we here for?
Okay, it's Monday night. Bit of a hectic night tonight, wasn't it, just to get here? But it is Monday night. It's time for Kim's Top 5.
Yes.
Yeah, baby. And tonight it's all about hound dogs.
It's about dogs, yes.
It's dogs, yep. And let me ask you, so why are we talking about hound dogs?
Well, after our topic last week, there's heaps more to talk about with cats because cats are, there's lots of oils you can't use with cats. So that's why we did cats last week and everyone said, but I'm a dog person. And so tonight we're doing dogs.
Exactly. People said, but what about dogs? And we went, meow. We don't
You
care.
like dogs.
I love dogs. Yeah, actually, here's a bit of trivia for you. Do you know why I'm wearing this shirt? So, hold on, I'll get up close so you can see the insignia here. There it is. I used to play, in the 80s, I played in a heavy metal band called the Thrash Puppies. And we were world famous in New Zealand. Which
and Victoria, apparently.
And obscure places in Sweden. We were pretty big as well. So we were the Thrash Puppies. So dogs have a place in my heart. And here's a little prize for you. If you can find footage of us in New Zealand at a place called Parachute Festival and post that below, there's a lavender oil for you. So there you go. Can't be kinder than that.
You're so funny.
I just want to be famous again.
Right.
Anyway, so
everyone will go and Google and YouTube Thrash Puppies. So okay.
Yep, top 5 for dogs.
Yes, top 5.
Talk us through it.
Okay, so dogs have this incredible sense of smell. They actually have something like 240 million receptors in their in their nose. So they smell heaps more than we do. Like for dogs that are like
dogs do smell more than we do.
Well, they do. They, but I mean, their sense of smell is so much stronger. Like it can be anywhere between 100 and 10,000 times, depending on like the breed of dog and all that kind of stuff. So, so they definitely smell a lot more than, they can smell things stronger. So, and the other thing is that dogs are a lot smaller than us. So a dog might weigh about 1/10 of the size of us. So if you're going to use essential oils on a dog, then you're going to want to use 1/10 of the amount of essential oils that you would use on a human. So it's similar to like babies where we use like 1/10 and...
Except hairier, furrier.
Well, and the thing about dogs is they are hairier. So the more hairier the dog, the more the dog will actually absorb the essential oils. So with hairier breeds, you actually can use less because they have more hair follicles and they'll absorb more of the essential oils.
So if you had a cross between a Shih Tzu and a poodle...
I'm not even going to go there, Jeremy.
But it would absorb a lot of...
Probably, yes.
A lot of essential oils.
Yes, it would absorb a lot of essential oils.
Yep.
So the thing with dogs, because they do have that really strong sense of smell, is we want to put the oils behind their nose, never on their face. And I'll talk a little bit about where we might put them, but basically when you start using essential oils around dogs, you wearing them personally, and I talked about this with cats to get dogs used to essential oils, so putting them on your own body. The other way is to, diffuse them. But once again, like with cats last week, make sure that you've got windows open or you haven't shut the dog in a confined space with a diffuser, especially if it's an oil it doesn't like. We don't want to do that. We want to leave it so the dog can come and go. I've seen amazing sort of experiments with dogs where they've actually put the oils on the ground and the dog's gone up and chosen the oil that was kind of for it. Like, and it's like they kind of, they can smell what they need.
So you talked about horses. I remember you talking about horses and oils, and horses let you know when they like an oil, don't they?
Yeah, horses do this Fleming thing with their mouth where their lips and they curl it up and so they're sucking more of the oil into their their nose. Whereas dogs, I've actually seen them pick it up in their mouth, like the oil that they actually like.
Wow.
And if they don't like an oil, then they'll actually go away from an oil. So,
which is a bit like us, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Okay, so that's the warning side of things. If you're going to use oils with dogs, dilute.
Yes, dilution. So as I said, dilute, like especially when you're beginning to apply them topically, like put, as I said, 1/10 of the amount of oil. So if you would use 1 drop on a human, then you want to dilute it like to 1/10 and, just use like a tiny bit, and you might pat the dog with it. Tips of the ears, back of the neck, that kind of thing, the bottoms of the paws, but remember that they're going to lick it off. So really it comes down to quality, and I'm going to give you a story about quality in a minute.
Yep.
So
Okay.
but never on their face, right? Because you don't want to get too close to their nose.
Yep. But a drop in your hand, rub it around, that would be a good start?
If you're starting out, dilute. Because they really are strong, and you don't want the dog to be overwhelmed. Like 1 drop of lavender is really strong for a dog. So but if you dilute it, and then when you're starting out, dogs that are used to it, like I've seen dogs get raindrop and heaps and heaps of oils, but they're used to it, and but when you're starting out, always dilute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good advice. Are we going to do the top 5 now?
Yes.
Okay, let's get into it. So starting with number 5.
Okay. I'm not sure which way to go. Like, it's always hard for me to choose an order. So I'm going to start with...
I find it the same every week.
Lavender as number 5, okay? If you've got a dog that's particularly... I used the word skitty last week with cats, but if they're scared of storms and things like that, then lavender's really calming. So diffusing lavender, as I said, if they're used to oils, you can start and massage it into the dog. There's even dog jewelry aroma jewelry that you can get and put like little pendants and stuff on their collars so that they're breathing in the lavender, but it's quite calming around storms. And so it is one of my favourite oils for calming, well, any animal really, but particularly dogs. So if you've got a dog, even a dog that might have come from, the pound or a rescue dog or something like that, then lavender is particularly calming for them. But I love it with storms. I also, I add lavender and tea tree to the animal scent shampoo, particularly where I live. It just, we're on the coastal area of New South Wales, and it just enhances the animal scent shampoo by adding the tea tree and the lavender. So
okay, yeah. And I actually have friends who have used lavender recently to settle a young dog who was, they just got and helped it go to sleep. It was good. Yeah.
Okay, so lavender.
Lavender.
The first 2 I'm doing are sort of more your emotional stuff, okay? So if you've got dogs with emotional issues, then lavender is good for, calming them down. Geranium, okay? Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about a guy called Mitch Seavey. Mitch and his son, actually, they race every year in a dog sled race in America called Iditarod. And Mitch has actually won, and his son's won a few times. But Mitch is a Young Living ambassador, and he swears by the oils. One of the oils that he loves for emotional issues with his dogs, he has, huskies, sled dogs, is geranium. And that's if they're sort of feeling anxious, they've got anxious feelings, then he uses the geranium. And he talks about this dog called Muggsy, and he had Muggsy, and Muggsy was really shy, and I think it was Muggsy that he talked about that she wouldn't even eat around if there was a human there. She obviously had some emotional issues, and she wouldn't eat. So when he couldn't use her on any of the dog sled, races and things like that, because they'd come to a pit stop, and that'd be time for the dogs to eat and refuel, and she wouldn't eat. Wow. And so, she was so shy, and obviously had bit of anxious feelings going on. So he started putting Geranium just on his gloves. He wasn't even putting it on the dog, just on his gloves. And she was the actual, I don't know what you call it in dog terms, but the dog sort of just in front. I think they call it the wheel dog, but she was the dog just in front of him, and so she could smell the oils. But Gary, he was big. Like he ended up doing a dog race. I don't know if you know that, but he did it as well, and he loved using the oils with his horses and with all of his animals, and especially with dogs. And he actually said to Mitch one day, because obviously the Iditarod and all these races are run in freezing conditions and things freeze. And so Gary said, you know, like what he does is to keep the oil sort of in an inside pocket so that it's sort of near your skin and it doesn't freeze. And, you know, they were diluting it already with the carrier oil. But Gary said, look, worst case scenario, if you can't even get it on the dog, just open the lid. And because the dogs have such a good sense of smell that they can... you know, they can just smell the, smell the geranium. So, you know, yeah.
Okay, geranium, beautiful. I'm just going to have a whiff of that too, just to calm me down. So, yeah.
And Danae's actually just told us that the Diffuse Pet Diffuser stuff is on sale in the merchandise sale this month. So if you want to get one of those for your dog, that's a good thing to do. And, you know, as I say, you can, you know, use Geranium or Lavender. Dilute them when you first start out, remember? Even on the little diffuser necklace, dilute them, okay?
Do you think it would be suitable for a thrash puppy, perhaps?
When you're feeling anxious, yes.
Well, no, but I mean, the thing about dogs is they're pack animals, and that means they're social animals, and that means that they are actually prone to a lot of the same feelings that we get because, you know, it's where they fit in the pack and there's all those, you know, power struggles and all kinds of things happen. So, yeah, it's important to look after our dog's emotions.
Yeah, and I mean, Gary used to say that if your dog really trusts you, they're more likely to be accepting of the oils that you want to put on them because they're accepting of you, and like it's like a trust thing. The more trust your dog has in you, the more they will actually take the oils from you, like whether you're patting them or however. But as I say, they're just like humans. We don't like all oils, and so there are going to be some that they won't like. Okay,
so that was number 4 was geranium. So lavender, geranium. What else have we got?
I might do number 3. Oh, actually, I'll do number 3. 3 is the animal scent shampoo, okay? So I had to go to my dad's house to get a bottle of it because my dad uses it, and he mixes the lavender and the tea tree in with it. It's already got citronella, so I'm sure you can imagine what the citronella's in it for. It's got lavandin, so if you've watched some of our videos before, I've talked about the difference between Lavandula augustifolia, which is the true English lavender, and lavandin, which is a hybrid species. Now, it's not that you know, we don't want to use lavandin at all. It's just that lavandin has particular you know, properties and constituents in it for that are good for certain things. Lavandin is actually an oil that is also in purification, okay? So it goes really nicely with the citronella. It's got some lemon oil in there. It's great for your dog. You know, you don't need to add the tea tree and the lavender just because of living in a coastal area. You know, we just like to enhance it, but tiny little amount. It's like our hair shampoo that Young Living sells. You don't need very much. Just mix it up, like massage it into your dog.
Size, do you reckon? I guess it depends on the dog.
Yeah, it depends on how big your dog is. Okay. But, you know, I love the animal scent shampoo. We've got...
It's interesting because the lavandin, correct me if I'm wrong, but lavandin has more camphor in it. Is that right?
Can you smell that in there?
Yeah, I reckon I can smell it. It's just got a little bit more of a bitey smell to it than the standard lavender.
Yeah. So that's so in America, they actually have a whole heap of animal scents products. They even have already diluted oils, like the kids scents oils that they have in America. They have animal oils, and they're already diluted, perfect sort of amount for your pets. But here we, you know, so far we've only got the animal scent shampoo. We have had the animal scents ointment before. It's out of stock at the moment, but it's amazing. So if you ever get a chance to get your hands on this, it's really, really amazing. It's kind of like this really thick highly luxurious kind of cream. Like, it's great for putting on elbows and knees and anywhere where your skin's a little bit dry, heels. And I know
is this for you or for the
no,
dogs?
well, anything that we use on our dogs, you want to be able to use it on yourself. Like,
so it's not like it's not like pet food where it's
no, it's not like pet food.
It's not like
okay?
pet food.
You could use the animal scent shampoo if you wanted. Like, all this stuff is so good, it's amazing. But Mitch Seavey, he used to put that on the pads of his dogs.
Oh, wow.
Like, as I said, he did the Iditarod and was out there racing, and he used to put it on the pads of his dogs after the race, and to help with their feet. The other thing is that if your dog has has got any sort of skin sort of damage that you might be putting an oil on, you can actually put the Animal Sense ointment over the top as sort of like a band-aid, if you like, to stop them from being able to lick it. And it's got myrrh and tea tree in it. So it's amazing the benefits of myrrh and tea tree.
Yeah.
So,
and plus I noticed it's got beeswax in here, it's got lanolin, so that's all going to be good stuff.
Yeah. So we
that's not number 3 though.
No, because you can't get it at the moment. The other thing that Young
Animal
Living
Sense,
is bringing to Australia in the Animal Sense range is the dental chews. Okay, so we had to make a slightly different formula from the US in order to meet our strict food standards even for pets, and the meat had to be cooked at a certain temperature, which was different to the US. The US or ours had to be a different. Anyway, it's a slightly different mixture, but we're getting the dental chews, which are great natural dental chews, high quality for your dog. So watch out for those.
It's because our dentists in Australia are a little bit tougher than the American ones, so they need to cook them a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Dentist chews, fantastic.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All right. Now, it's funny because I didn't do very many oils today. I've only done the 2, lavender and geranium. The next product I'm going to talk about is sulfazyme. Every single time I've been to the US and I've heard vets talk, and I've heard, horse experts and all different people who use essential oils with their pets, they all have this on their list, okay? This and Ninja Red. Like, I didn't put Ninja Red on the list, but you can definitely give your dog, your horse, Ninja Red. But sulfazyme, okay? In Australia, it is approved for the temporary relief of the pain of osteoarthritis, okay? So if you want to give it to your... we can say it. It's on the bottle.
Yep.
If you want to give it to your dog, I would empty it out of the capsules and put it straight in their food, okay? I was trying to work it out today, and I think we worked out it was 1 capsule for 4.5 kilos of dog.
Yeah.
Okay, twice a day.
Yeah.
So, just trying to work out the ratio of for dogs. So I don't know how heavy your dog might be, but 1 capsule for every 4.5 kilos of dog.
And that's such an important thing, because one of the issues for dogs as they get older, especially big dogs, is
osteoarthritis.
They get a lot of joint pain and stuff. So, that's
so
powerful stuff.
There's
and that's approved for use.
Yeah, and so you can add it to their food. It's sulfazyme. Really, really and also it gives them a shiny coat. You know how sulfazyme's great for our hair and our nails? Don't know if you know that, but it is awesome. Yeah. It makes your hair and your nails, because it's got MSM. And MSM, if you go and Google the benefits of MSM, a lot of the research that's been done on MSM is actually on greyhounds and horses. Race horses, because that's where they first started using it, and then they realized how good it was for using on these really expensive greyhounds and horses, that they started then trialing it on humans, and they worked out how good it was for humans. So they've been using MSM, which is the main ingredient in sulfazyme. They've been using that on animals for longer than they've been using it on humans.
And what do we take every day, every morning?
Oh, I definitely can't live without my sulfazyme.
Yeah, likewise, it's really good. That's why we look so good. That's why our hair's
That's our
so
sulfazyme. Okay, so my number 1, I'm going to tell you a bit of a story. Okay, this is another Mitch Seavey story. Like, you can
Should I sit back and relax?
You can go onto YouTube and watch Mitch's videos, and he's got stuff in a lot of the animal books and things like that, where he's put stories up, in the geranium one. But I've often heard him talk about his favourite oil in the beginning that he used with his dogs was wintergreen. Okay, he used to massage wintergreen on his dogs, diluted, throughout the race. So how he got into oils was through this natural healer that lived in the town where he lived, and he wanted to try natural products. So he went out and got the wintergreen, started massaging his dogs during the race, and he was amazed at how good it worked. He thought it was a bit pricey at first, so he found some oil of wintergreen on the internet. I think he said he could buy, well, I don't know, it might have been a gallon. I'm hopeless at measurements.
Yeah, if it was in America, it's probably a gallon.
So like a gallon of the oil for the same price as what he could buy the 15 ml wintergreen from Young Living.
So you know it's good if you buy it off the internet.
Yeah.
At that price.
So he tried it out, and not only did it not have the same benefits, it didn't do the same job as the Young Living wintergreen, but he noticed that where the coats, where he'd actually put it on their shoulders and stuff on the dog, where their coats were, all the hair started falling out. And it started it was having this really negative effect as well. So he says, don't waste your money. If you're going to use oils with dogs, you need to use good quality oils. Yeah. He only uses Young Living. He has tried other ones, and his, word to the wise is stick to the Young Living ones. At least, you'll know that they're going to do what they say they're going to do.
Yeah, fantastic. Okay.
So first of all, he started using wintergreen. Then he found out about lemongrass, and did I say his name wrong, Danae? Maybe.
Mitch Seavey.
What did I say?
I don't know.
Oh. So then he started finding out the benefits of lemongrass oil. So he mixed the wintergreen and the lemongrass, and then he experimented by mixing peppermint in. And he was like, oh, this is amazing, like lemongrass. And he was telling, I think it was his wife, and she goes, why don't you just use Orthosport? It's already made up and it's diluted. So he started using the Orthosport. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So that's our 5.
Yes.
We'll quickly run through them. I thought maybe we could get a dog on camera, so I'm just going to whistle one up. Have you heard my dog whistle?
No.
I'll do it for you. Here, you ready? Did you hear it?
No.
It's because it's too high for the human ear to hear.
Okay.
They're coming as we speak. Alrighty, top 5. Let's give it.
Lavender's number 5. That's thunderstorms.
Got it. Yep.
Geranium.
4.
What did I do? Animal Sense shampoo.
Yep. Bring out the animal. Yep.
And Orthosport.
Excellent. Yeah, you can have all those back.
Okay, thanks.
Well, it's time for my top 1. I'm just going to keep it brief because they say that the dog is a man's best friend, and I love dogs, but honestly, I actually think that Shutran is a man's best friend. That's all I've got.
Thank you, Jeremy. That's the shortest top 1 you've ever done.
Yep. Don't muck around. Shutran.
So anyway, if you want to know more, but always, invest in a good reference book on using oils with animals, and it'll give you lots and lots of information about how to use them and what to use them for. But just remember, with dogs, they have, much more a sense of smell than we do, so don't use anywhere near what you would use. And also, your dogs are a lot smaller than us, so...
If you've got a good dog story and you've used oils with your dog, we'd love to hear it. Put it in the comments below. And also, feel free to tag people who who are pet owners. We always love to get your comments and hear from you and get suggestions. Is this kind of it for our animal thing? Like, if we've got people who have pet... Kim's top 5 for rats. We could do Kim's top 5 for cockroaches.
Well, Amanda asked me about guinea pigs the other day, and I'm like, we're not doing guinea pigs.
Yeah, we could do an experiment.
No, we're not. All right, so if you want to watch back on any of our other top 5s, they're all on our YouTube channel, The Hot Oily Mama. You can watch them on our Facebook page, The Hot Oily Mama, or in Team Valor.
So, yay! And we will see you next Monday night.
Next week.
What are we doing next week?
I don't know yet. We'll work it up Monday morning when I've got a post about it. All right.
See you guys.